Hello, good morning. So this is graphing a linear equation. What this is about is how to graph an equation that looks like this. 2x plus y equals 4. And first off, we're going to start with teaching with a method calling finding the x and y intercept. And basically to find the y-intercept, the x value is 0 because anywhere along the y-axis, x has a value of 0. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 0 into the equation. Notice I wrote the problem without an x, put parentheses, I'm going to put a 0 in there. And what's going to be nice about 0 is it's going to wipe out, like 2 times 0 is 0. So that just leaves me y equals 4. So the y-intercept is at 4 in this particular problem. And that's the y-intercept. And so now I'm going to find the x-intercept by putting a 0 in for the y value. This time I'm going to write the equation without the y. I'm going to put parentheses and put a 0 there. And of course, that's like 2x plus 0, which means 2x equals 4. Divide each side by 2, and x is 2. So the x-intercept is 2. So what that means is, if I want to go graph this, if I put a dot at 0, 4, the y-intercept, and one at 2, 0, I have 2 points. And guess how many points it takes to make for a line? 2. I just graphed that by plugging zeros into those variables. Wow, let's look at another one. So here we go. 3x plus y equals 6. I'm going to replace that x with a 0, which means 3 times 3 is 0. Goes away, so I just have y equals 6. So the y-intercept is 6. Oh, wow, cool. So now then, let's find the x-intercept. I'm going to replace the y value with 0, which means it goes away. So I have 3x equals 6, and 3 will go into 6 twice. So the x-intercept is 2. So if I want to graph it, I'm going to put a dot at 0, 6, and once again 1 at 2, 0, and connect the dots, and I have just graphed that. Wow, that's really cool. Let's try one now with a negative y. Well, it's not much different, but there is one difference. I'm still going to put that 0 in place of the x, which makes it go away, but this time I have a negative y equals negative 6. Now, I have to have a positive y to answer, so I can multiply them by negative 1 or simply divide them both by negative 1. Either way, all it's going to change is the sign, because a negative divided by negative makes it a positive. So the y-intercept is at 6. And now then, to find the x-intercept, I'm still going to replace the y with 0. Well, it's just going to make it go away. And 2 will go into negative 6 how many times? You can't really see it, but that's a negative 3 down there that didn't show up. It's negative 3, which pops in. You can see it right up there. So if I graph that, I'm going to have a dot at 0, 6, and one at what? Negative 3, 0. Connect the dots. I just graphed it. Let's try another one. 3, let's put 0 in place of that. Well, 3 times 0 is going to be 0 minus the y. Means I have a negative y equals 3. But remember, I can't have a negative y, so I'm going to divide them both by negative 1. Or I can just call it a handy-dandy shortcut and just switch all the signs. Y equals negative 3. So the y-intercept is negative 3. And now I'm going to go put a 0 in there, right there. And if I put a 0 in there, it's going to go away. So 3x equals 3. And 3 divided by 3 would just be x equals 1, which you can see the 1 right there. The bottom of my screen is not particularly showing up real well. But it is a 1. So to graph it, I'll have a dot at 0, negative 3, and then 1 at 1, 0 for the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Connect the dots. There's my graph. Ooh. Now you got a 2y here. Is that different? A little bit, but not really. Because first off, let's plug the 0 in. 0 in for the x to find the y-intercept. And that's going to be 2y equals negative 2. But now what's different, instead of just being the y equals negative 2, I got to divide by 2. And if I divide those by 2, negative 2 divided by 2 makes negative 1. So the y-intercept is at 0, negative 1. Oh, okay. And now let's do the x-intercept. So I'll plug that in. 2 times 0 is going to be 0, so I just get x equals what? Negative 2. Oh, so the x-intercept's at negative 2. So to graph it, the y-intercept's 0, negative 1. The x-intercept's up. That should be at negative 2. That dot's not quite right. So that line's not quite right. That should be right there. It should be a little bit steeper graph. That one's a little bit wrong. I forgot to move that little point over there when graphing that one. So thank you. So that's where the intercept would be at. Let's try this one. Whoa, Nelly, we got 2 numbers. Yes, we do, but let's still think about what we do. Let's replace the x with 0. That's still going to make that 2 times 0 go away, which makes it negative 3y equals 6. So I'm just going to, what, divide each side by negative 3, which will give me y equals negative 2. So the y value is like negative 6, okay, or y equals negative 2. And now I'm going to put the 0 in for y, which is going to make that minus 3y30 go away. So I have 2x equals 6 and divide by 2, and you get x equals 3. So the y-intercept will be at 0, negative 2, and at 3, 0. And I can graph that, and there we go. There's our points. Wow. That's pretty cool. So let's try this one here. I'm going to replace it there, a little bigger numbers this time. Well, 0 times 4 is still 0, and negative 3 will go into 12, negative 4 times. So I have a y-intercept at 0, negative 4. And then to find the x one, I'm going to replace the y with 0. So I basically have 4x equals 12, divided by 12, 4, and x equals 3. So my intercepts are at 0, negative 4, and 3, 0. Connect the dots. Hey, it's really easy, because basically I'm going to end up dividing by the other number, because the 0 is going to make those other numbers go away, and I can graph really quick and really easy. All right. Try one last one. Well, I'll put 0 in there. It's going to be 4y equals 4 divided by 4, y equals 1. Put the 0 in this one. 4 times 0 is 0, so x is just going to be 4. So my y-intercept's at 0, 1, 4, 0. Connect the dots. Wow, pretty cool. So I can just do that, and that works. Awesome. Is there another way to do that? Yes, and I'll show you that on the next video.